For the 100% cheapest coins on the internet with reliable delivery and quick customer support, check out my sponsor MMOEXP by clicking the link at the top of the description and use code SWIFT at checkout for 5% off. Salsals and family, and today I'm coming back at you guys with another Madden 22 video on the channel, and in today's video we're going to be talking about how to get 89 overall campus heroes at a price of literally 60k per card. Also boys, we're at the beach and of course we're repping the Zion. Who did it better? Okay, now I want to preface this one by saying this is a method for NAT 89s. This is not going to be giving you guys auctionable 89 overall players, but we're going to be getting these NATs at a price of around 65,000 coins per card, so this is absolutely perfect. If you've got a team that's like within that 80 to 86 overall range, and you're looking to pick up a lot of 89s to add to your team, as you guys can see, 89 overall players would work wonders on this team. I don't care if they're a NAT player. So in today's video, let me showcase how to get 3 of these cards by doing one little roll that I'm going to show you, and that's going to give you guys each player at a price of 60,000 coins per. Okay, now without further ado, let's get into today's video, boys. Before we do that, let me know your NBA team down below in the comment section, and if you guys do mess with the jersey, drop a like down below. I feel like it's pretty sick. We went with the alternate jersey. It's only $20 on DHgate, which is an absolute W, but let's get into the video. Okay, now let me give you guys a little bit of a rundown as to how this is going to work. Now, essentially how we're going to be doing this one is we're going to be starting this off by completing the Reggie Bush set at the cheapest price possible. Now, once we do that, we're going to go on ahead and we're actually going to quick sell the Reggie Bush card, and we're going to use that training to roll back into coins and make back a whole ton of coins. Now, as you guys can see, when we do the Reggie Bush set, you're also going to be getting 389 overall not campus hero players. And then after you select your free players, you're going to make those coins back from Reggie Bush like I mentioned before, and at the end of the day, you're basically going to be left over with 389 overall campus heroes, and you're going to be down 200k at the absolute maximum. Now, I say the maximum because, to be honest, you guys can also go ahead and sell off the backup players that these 89s are replacing, and at the end of the day, for most of you guys, you're going to end up being down like 100k for 389s. That's like 30k per card, which is pretty crazy. Let's get into how this method works. Okay, so like I said before, we are going to be creating the Reggie Bush set. Now, to do so, the best way to do this is basically just sniping the 89s. It's not really worth it to go in here and do this set where you guys are upgrading your 80s into an 89. These sets, they end up costing a lot more than the 89 ends up going for, so what I'd recommend you guys do is go in here and we are going to be sniping these cards at a price of ideally around 190k. 190k is your like target price point. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the store right now and we're going to try and snipe these cards at that price. If we get less than that, that's awesome, but hopefully 190k per card is going to end up working out. Now, obviously, if you guys couldn't tell, this is going to require coins. You're going to need about 600k to really be able to do this method effectively. As you guys can see, we're in the store right here, 88 to 89 filtered down by campus heroes. We go to the newest really quickly just to make sure we're seeing the newest cards, and now all I'm going to do is I am refreshing on this filter. I want to see a card go up for 190. If we end up paying a little bit more than that, it's not really the end of the world, but like 190 is your like target price. You'll want to try and get that price point. It is going to be challenging, but I will say there is quite a bit of activity on this. People are posting these cards basically every other or every like 3 refreshes, so you are going to see a lot of new players that are going to come out relatively consistently, and I'm going to try and find these cards for 190 per. I'll see you guys when I do that. I wouldn't be surprised if we end up spending a little bit more than that, but like I said before, you're kind of going to need 600k to do this method, so if you have a lot of coins, this is perfect. This is why I recommend you guys save up for methods like this where you're able to really take advantage and get a lot of good players for your team. Okay, so we went a little bit over budget, but at the end of the day, I'm not really all that concerned with it. We're still going to be getting these cards at a really cheap price, which is great for a team like mine when we want to add as much talent as we can to a no money spent team and get as many high overalls as possible. So I would say that we probably just dropped around 585k on these cards. That is a very high number, boys, but we're going to make back about 400,000 coins as we continue through this method. Okay, now step number 2, you guys have bought your 89s and you're ready to complete the Reggie Bush set. Now simply put these cards into the set. As you guys can see, we just got 3 of them. We're putting all these players into our set, and we are now going to get 91 overall Reggie Bush, and we're also going to be getting our campus hero fantasy pack. So ripping this right here, as you guys can see, this is honestly a pretty exciting pack to open up. We're going to start it off with our Reggie Bush 91 overall right here, and this card is actually going to be quick sold. I will explain to you guys why in just a second, but 91 overall Reggie Bush, that is pretty cool right there to see that card. Now next up, we have our 91 overall campus hero fantasy pack. Now out of this pack, I definitely have a little bit of a decision to make. There's 2 cards that I absolutely know that I'm taking. The first one is Derek Thomas. I absolutely know I'm taking Derek Thomas. He's going to be a great receiver for the team. Joey Galloway, I've already got him, and I definitely know that I also want to take Antrell Roll. Now additionally, this is a tough decision, boys. It's right now down to Brian Dawkins. He's definitely a consideration. Vince Young is another player that is definitely in the cards and I'm definitely considering. I'm also considering Phillip Buchanan, and I'm also considering Roy Williams. So I'm going to make a decision. We'll end up selecting our player. I don't think I can really go wrong with this card, but we'll see who we end up taking right here. Okay, boys, so I think I'm going to go with Vince Young right here. The main reason why I'm taking this Vince Young card is because, to be honest with you, it's only only like a 60k investment in this player, and I'm really curious to try out Escape Artist and try out this quarterback card. Otherwise, there's players that I know I absolutely like that I picked earlier, but we're going to be taking Vince Young right here. We have our 3 nat players, and we have our Reggie Bush card, and let me add these players to my team, then talk about how we're actually going to make all these coins back and make sure that we end up getting these nats for a solid price. Okay, now here's what we're going to be doing with our Reggie Bush card. There's kind of 2 options you guys can do, and I'm going to explain to you guys why I think a lot of people, when they try and do this method, they screw it up royally. So as you guys can see, Reggie Bush right here, a lot of people, when they try and do this method, they'll simply sell off the Reggie. As you can see, selling for 371. That seems like a solid price point. You'd be making quite a few coins back, but that is not the move, boys. Now, as you guys will notice, Reggie Bush also is going to quick sell for 7,000 training points, and funnily enough, when we go to the store and we go on over to our marketplace, you guys will see that you can actually get 289 overall Campus Hero players for the price of 7,000 training points. Now, doing the math, the 289s, they're selling for at least 200k. Some of the cards sell for like 220, some of them sell for 250, so you can actually get a card that's selling for that much out of the pack. But let's say you get the worst pulls possible, you're getting 2 cards that sell for 200k out of this, whereas the Reggie Bush, he is only going to sell for 370, so you're making a lot more coins by using the Reggie Bush card and rolling them into these players. Okay, so we're going to quick sell the Reggie Bush 91 overall. We're getting 7k training from doing so, and now we cross our fingers, boys. We cross our fingers and hope that we end up getting some good pulls. Even if we end up getting bad pulls, we end up being down about 200k, but we're left over with those free players, and we can sell off our backups that those people replaced. But we have 2 of these packs to open up right here, hoping for like a Joey Galloway, an Entree Roll, a Vince Young. A card like that would be great. We got a Carl Banks. That is not a good pull right there. We get to do this pack one more time, and we're going to be selling off both of these cards, of course, to try and get that coin count up and make sure that we are not losing that many coins on this method. We get a Mel Renfro. Not a good pull right there either. Okay, so I guess this is kind of good to explain to you guys the worst possible situation when you guys do this. We have Carl Banks, we have Mel Renfro. Each of these cards, I'm assuming they're going for like 200. I'd be surprised if one of them goes for more than that. So yeah, both cards we can get about 200,000 coins for, and that is going to mean that we're making about 400k when we sell these cards off, actually closer to like 360. But when you guys account for the fact that you're going to be replacing at least 3 starters in your lineup, you're probably going to be making the tax that is going to be lost on these cards right here. So let's say 400k is kind of how much we get back. As you guys know at the beginning, we spent a total price of 585. So essentially what I've done is I spent 185,000 coins and I was able to get 389s. Now keep in mind, boys, these 89s are selling for like 200k. So we're getting 389s literally for the price of 1. Now I know these cards are nats, but you can still quick sell them in the future. As you guys can see, Vince Young is selling for about 800 training points. When we apply the training point value to that, when we apply that and multiply that by 50, the Vince Young card is basically worth like 40k in training. So these 3 players, they're probably still worth like 120k. So you're basically getting these cards and you can quick sell them in the future, and you only spend 185k on the players. That is the method, and I think this is a really, really nice method for no money spent, guys. So yeah, that's what I wanted to showcase in today's video, boys. This is absolutely crucial that you guys do this, especially if you guys have a lot of coins and you're a no money spent team. As you guys can see, we're literally picking up like some of the best elite players in this game right now. I'm going to be replacing basically all my other players in my lineup, so we're getting a lot of nats to take out of the lineup, players we can maybe use in exchange sets, and a lot of stuff like that. So yeah, that's gonna do it for the video. I hope you guys have enjoyed this one. Definitely a relatively like simple method, but it's something that I would recommend literally everyone do, boys, especially if you're in a situation where you can do it, like a no money spent team, maybe that 80 to 86 overall range, you have at least 600k coins in the bank. If you're in that situation, go ahead and do this method. It is very, very worth it. But that's gonna do it for me. Until next time, lads, I'm out. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace.